Hey, so this is a four-leaf clover that I found probably about 2 years ago, and it sits in my desk as a ever revolving reminder of what it looks like to be in this business. And as we are moving into St. Patrick's Day today, I wanted to come up with a couple of fun little things for you. So, this idea is there's actually four leadership lessons that we're going to go over today. The first one is luck favors the prepared leader, the rainbow effect of leadership, the Guinness effect, and shamrocks and strategic growth. So, let's get started. Um, when we talk about luck as a leader, one of the things that we tend to think about is that we're just going to be put into leadership positions and we're going to just figure it out. We're going to get lucky. And if you're trying to get into a leadership position, you've probably found yourself going, well, this is just going to happen. I'm just going to work really hard. I'm just going to get to the next thing. But luck isn't random. It's what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So looking for those opportunities, and we think about things like St. Patrick. St. Patrick was credited with driving snakes out of Ireland, but in reality, it was his years of dedication, strategy, and influence that made lasting change. Leaders who consistently show up, build relationships, and refine their skills and often look lucky, but it's their preparation that creates those moments. So the lesson for you here is the more intentional you are in developing your skills, the more lucky breaks you create for yourself and your team. And a lot of those skills come back to those soft skills that we tend to forget: creativity, innovation, strategic thinking, the things that we can't necessarily measure that help us get to the next level. The second thing is the rainbow effect of leadership, because great leaders don't shine in just one color. They reflect a full spectrum of skills, which goes back to that idea of how am I collecting those skills? How am I creating a toolbox for myself that gives me things that makes it easy for me to put them out into the world? Because just like a rainbow is created through light bending and refracting in different ways, strong leaders know how to adapt, whether it's empathy in tough conversations, decisiveness in crisis, or inspiration during uncertainty. The best leaders adjust their energy to meet the moment. And the big lesson for you here is the brightest leaders embrace their full spectrum of strengths. So we're not just learning the strengths and looking for the opportunities, we're also building on those strengths and bringing more and more of those in, learning things, reading books, taking courses, doing corporate training, all of those pieces, and using those to cultivate us into the next version of ourselves. For people who enjoy this idea of, okay, St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to go out, I'm going to grab a drink. There's actually something interesting that I learned in the research of this is that there's something called the Guinness effect. And the Guinness effect is this idea that because this is one of Ireland's most iconic beers, that they've figured out the precise timing for pouring this beer, which is kind of an obnoxious time. It's 119.5 seconds. And that's how you pour the perfect pint, because rushing it leads to foam, overflow, or a flat beer. And this is the same with leadership. It's rushing these results that you want, that you're wanting your team to do, that you're wanting yourself to do, can cost you long-term success. Because the best leaders know that great things take time. And your lesson here is sustainable growth, strong teams, and lasting impact are all about patience and timing. And then finally, the last lesson that we want to go over today in our four lessons, because, four for the shamrock, is shamrocks and strategic growth. Because strong leaders grow their influence like a shamrock, wide enough to impact many, but deeply rooted to stay strong. So if we think about a plant, this is true for any plant. If it's got shallow roots, it's going to be easily pulled out. The same thing happens with leaders. They maybe were really good at their job, they get moved up to the next position, and then they get pulled out because of the fact that they don't have the strong roots of what actual leadership looks like. I've had many people that I'm connected with that have become dear friends of mine who have come to me and said, oh my gosh, I need to work with you because of the fact that I was really good at doing this thing. And then I got into a leadership position, which I thought that I wanted, until I started to work with people and realized that I don't understand how to lead them well and to get the results that I need to get while still doing the jobs that I have to do that aren't part of the leadership bundle. So those are things that you need to consider as you, one, as a leader who's promoting leaders, and then as you're getting into leadership positions, what are things that I need to know of how do I communicate with people? How do I move them forward? How do I move the ROI forward of whatever the vision is for the organization that I work with to get them to the next step? Because strong leaders grow their influence like a shamrock. And with that, the shamrock was St. Patrick's teaching tool. And there was 3 leaves on it. I know we normally talk about the 4-leaf clover because that's the lucky thing. But from this perspective, they always used 3, which was faith, hope, and love. And so when we're thinking about those through leadership, faith is the belief in your vision, even when the path isn't clear. Hope is the optimism to inspire your team through those challenges. And then love is genuine care for your people that builds loyalty and trust. Because at the end of the day, we might think about faith, hope, and love and kind of throw that out the window. But if I can believe in the vision, inspire my team, even when things are really tough, and that they know that I care about them and the end goal for where they're trying to go, they're going to work a lot better for me and they're going to be a lot happier, which means that the productivity is going to be a lot better. And so a lot of times when you hear people talk about, hey, caring about your team, here's these soft skills, it's easy to throw those out the door because they don't seem tangible. They don't seem easy to measure. But we know that happier teams do better. They're more productive. They stay longer. They don't have as much turnover. So with those things, wouldn't we want to know how to do that with our own teams to get them to the next place? So the lesson here is great leadership thrives at the intersection of belief, optimism, and empathy. So as you're going on your leadership journey and going through these 4 quickly learned lessons, if you're looking for somebody to come in and help your team, train your team, and really just get to that next level for yourself as a leader, I would love to have a conversation with you and see what the best next steps are for you and your specific team. You can go ahead and I'm going to put up the URL, but it's kabrinaashley.com/strategy-call. And I hope to see you on my calendar this week, and happy St. Patrick's Day.